What is up, guys? I am headed out in just a couple days to Iceland for about 10 days of shooting there. And right now I am setting up my drone. This one is the Mavic 4 Pro. That is going to be sort of the hero drone. We'll fly it wherever we can. And I thought I'd bring you along for the process of getting this drone all set up for the trip. So I already swapped out all the props, so I've got a clean start and took it up for a quick test flight, just made sure that it is functioning. And to start with, we'll just check our camera settings here. We'll set all of the details of exposure and everything once we're out shooting. If you want to see all my cinematic settings, I put them into a PDF checklist. You can download it completely for free. We're not going to go through that right here. Link is down in the description if you do want that. White balance, we can change that again out in the field, but we'll probably want it set to 0 tint just so it doesn't look weird when we get out there. And then resolution, we want 6K 60. Either D-Log or D-Log M is great. I think we're probably going to be rolling D-Log for most of this trip because I want the nicest colors, and D-Log gives you better highlight roll off, and I think just a bit prettier of an image, although it is harder to color grade. And everything else looks good. No SD card in here right now. That is perfectly fine. Then diving into the menus, we are in normal mode right now, and we do have obstacle avoidance set to bypass. That's what I usually leave it set on. Bypass normal is fine. Display radar map as it should be. Advanced return to home is set to optimal. I'm actually going to switch this over to preset with return to home altitude of around 400 feet. I don't really use return to home a lot. I just fly it back manually, so this is only in an emergency, and I'd rather just have it go up rather than try to navigate obstacles on its own. AR settings, we want all of this stuff turned on. That is as it should be. Max altitude, I'm actually going to go ahead and turn this all the way up. I'm just going to keep an eye on my altitude, but there are some mountains that I might want to fly all the way up, and I don't want to be hitting altitude limits. Max distance, we want that to have no limit. Don't need any compass or IMU calibration. We want unfold arms to power on. That is super handy, and fold arms to power off should be turned on as well. And then auxiliary LEDs, we'll just leave that on auto. Aircraft LEDs, we will turn those on auto as well. And then under advanced safety settings, we want to make sure this is set to return to home, not descend or hover, otherwise it won't return to home when it flies out of range. Emergency stop settings, I never touch that. We want to make sure vision positioning is on and air sense is turned on as well. Then going over to control, I want my units in feet. Even though I am flying in Iceland where they use meters, I'm used to feet, so we're gonna stick with that. Display zoom, standard, gain and expo tuning settings. I already know these are all set up correctly. I'm not gonna go through them all here, but if you wanna see the gain and expo tuning settings that I do use, which work a lot better than the stock ones for cinematic video, you can check out my free settings checklist for the Mavic 4 Pro, or you can watch my Mavic 4 Pro cinematic settings video, which also has all of these settings in it. And then FocusTrack settings for a person, inner radius 19, outer radius 45 feet. That sounds fair. Inner height, we might want to put this up to, like, let's say 6 feet, maybe 10 feet. By default, we can change that if we want it lower. Outer height 27 feet is fine. For now, we're going to keep camera motion on normal to get more smooth cinematic stuff. We're going to keep near ground flight turned off for now. We can turn that on later if we need it. For vehicle, inner radius is 13 feet, outer radius is 118. I'm going to change this a little bit so that when it's on this closer circle here in the center, it'll be about 30-ish feet away, and then go on out 100 feet for the outer circle. And then the height for the inner circle is 23 feet. We'll actually pull this down to 19 feet. That should be good. Outer height is 118. I'm going to pull this down to about 60, maybe 80 feet. Again, we can customize this as needed. And camera motion is normal, and near ground flight is off. And then gimbal mode, we'll just leave that on follow. Don't want FPV mode. Tilt angle expansion, we definitely want that on if we want to shoot any portrait stuff. We don't want it to limit how much we can tilt the camera. It's still limited a little bit, but it's better than having that turned off. Don't need to calibrate the gimbal. Then down to stick mode needs to be in mode 2. Then button customization, this is important. For my custom 1 button, I have it set up by default to tilt the gimbal down and back up, just so I don't have to manually scroll through it, especially because for cinematic shots, I have that scroll speed set to relatively slow. So it's handy to just be able to flip that quickly. Then I have my custom 2 buttons set up to switch between the different focal lengths, because that's the other thing that I do very frequently. And sometimes I will switch my C1 button instead of having it flip the gimbal. I'll have it do cruise control, but unless I'm planning to use cruise control, it stays on recenter tilt down gimbal. Then right dial is on zoom in and out. For some reason, I'm going to switch this over to gimbal roll. That way I can twist the gimbal if I want to. I rarely do that, but it is handy to have. And then I have custom 1 plus the right dial adjust the aperture, and custom 2 plus the right dial adjust the shutter speed. So I can just hold down the buttons and quickly and easily adjust my exposure using the aperture or the shutter speed if I need to. And then back to our menu, we don't need to do any RC calibration or any of that. So then we'll go over here to the camera tab. We went through some of these settings earlier, but I always keep color display assist turned on. Video subtitles, this just gives us SRT files that have all the information of camera settings, where the drone was, all that good stuff. I will keep those on because those can be super useful. Anti-flicker, we're not using that, we're shooting outside. The histogram, I want to have that turned on. That way I can see my exposure. Basically on the right side is your highlights, on the left side is your shadows, in the middle is your midtones, and how high the peak is tells you how much data is there. You usually want it in the middle. I can drag this around to be out of the way of other stuff, but we definitely want that on. And then peaking level, I usually keep this shut off unless I have to manually focus on something, which I rarely do. Overexposure warning, I keep this shut off. It can be handy if you're just getting started and want to know when things are clipping, but I prefer to just look at my histogram rather than going by the overexposure warnings. And then grid lines, I always keep on my thirds grid and center marker. I don't really care for the diagonal lines that much, so I am going to turn them off, but the other two are super useful for composing your shot according to the rule of thirds or precisely centering something up in the frame. And then frame guide, I'm going to keep this off. This is just like if you know you're shooting for a specific aspect ratio, like for example for widescreen, you can put on those little cropping guides. I'm not going to be doing that because I'm just shooting for a regular 16:9. And white balance, we already went through here. Style, I'm going to actually keep this on 0 because I'm shooting in D-Log and it doesn't really make a big difference in D-Log. If I'm shooting in normal color profile, I usually turn these down to -2, but for D-Log, we are just going to keep them at 0. And custom folder naming, I keep that turned off. And for custom file naming, I am actually going to add here Mavic 4 Pro to the end, just so that I can easily tell that these files were shot with this drone. Cache when recording, we'll turn that on. That just records cache files to the remote. In case you lose your drone, you still have some backup recorded. Max video cache is 2 GB. It'll automatically delete the files. That's great. Allow quick transfer when the drone is off. That's great as well. That way I can easily get stuff off of it. For transmission, everything's good here. Dual band, channel mode, auto. We don't need to change anything there. And we are good to go. It is all set up. And that is the quick version of how I'm setting up all of my settings on my Mavic 4 Pro for my Iceland trip. Go check out the free settings checklist for this drone if you want to see exposure settings and gain and expo tuning settings, all that stuff. You can click right here to watch another video on the Mavic 4 Pro. Check out my free drone filmmaking training if you want to get better drone shots. Link to that is in the description. If you've enjoyed this video, make sure to hit the subscribe button to see more videos just like it, and I'll see you in the next one.